The wind howled like a freight train as Marcus Shaw gripped the steering wheel tighter, his knuckles white against the cracked leather. It was supposed to be just another routine haul, an overnight drive from Wichita to Oklahoma City, but the sky had other plans. As a seasoned truck driver with 25 years on the road, Marcus thought he'd seen everything. But nothing prepared him for the monstrous, swirling funnel cloud churning across the Kansas plains that afternoon. His CB radio crackled warnings, towns were being shredded to splinters. His gut clenched. He should keep going, get clear. But something tugged at him, a feeling he couldn't shake. Just past mile marker 212, Marcus slammed on the brakes. On the side of the highway, a minivan lay overturned in a ditch, its wheels still spinning. Debris littered the fields, branches, shattered glass, someone's backpack. Without hesitation, Marcus flung open the cab door and ran toward the wreckage, rain pelting his face sideways. His boots sank into the muddy shoulder. Inside the crumpled van were 3 people, a young mother clutching a baby and an older man pinned beneath a collapsed seat. The woman's face was streaked with tears, her screams muted by the roar of the wind. "Hang on!" Marcus bellowed, ripping open the passenger door. He scooped the baby into his arms, then helped the woman out as gently as he could. The tornado's dark finger twisted ominously closer. Marcus turned back to the older man, whose leg was trapped. For a moment, their eyes locked. The man's expression was calm, unwavering. "Go," he rasped. "Get them to safety." Marcus shook his head fiercely. "Not leaving you, sir." Summoning strength he didn't know he still possessed, Marcus braced his shoulders and yanked at the mangled seat. It groaned, shifted, and finally gave way. He wrapped an arm around the older man's back and dragged him out of the van just as shards of metal and dirt whipped through the air. With the tornado bearing down, Marcus shepherded the 3 strangers into the shelter of a nearby culvert, its concrete walls narrow but sturdy. They huddled together, the woman sobbing, the baby wailing, the older man grimacing through gritted teeth. Marcus shielded them all with his body as the tornado passed overhead, the sound deafening, the earth trembling as though it might crack open. Minutes stretched into eternity. Then, silence. When they emerged, the landscape was unrecognizable, trees uprooted, vehicles tossed like toys, homes flattened. Yet somehow, they were alive. The woman clutched Marcus's arm, her voice breaking. "You saved us, you saved us." Marcus shook his head humbly. "Just did what anyone would do." An ambulance soon arrived, summoned by another passerby. As medics loaded the injured older man onto a stretcher, he grasped Marcus's wrist with surprising strength. His eyes, sharp and piercing, locked onto Marcus's. "Son, you didn't just save anybody." He offered a faint, knowing smile. "You saved a United States Senator." Marcus blinked, stunned. "Sir." The man nodded. "Senator Samuel Whitaker. I was on my way to a town hall in Tulsa." He winced as the paramedics adjusted his leg. "You risked everything for people you didn't even know. That means more than you'll ever realize." Days passed, and the story spread like wildfire, first through local news, then national headlines. "Truck driver saves U.S. Senator and family from tornado's path," the captions read. Yet Marcus shied away from the attention, returning quietly to his truck routes, insisting he wasn't a hero. Weeks later, a letter arrived at his small home in Wichita. Heavy parchment, embossed seal, from Senator Whitaker himself. "Dear Mr. Shaw. What you did that day reminded me, and the whole nation, of what true character looks like. Your courage and selflessness cut through division, politics, and fear. As long as men like you walk this country's roads, America will always have hope. With deepest gratitude. Senator Samuel Whitaker." Beneath the letter was an invitation, to the U.S. Capitol, to be honored in front of Congress. When Marcus stood months later on the Senate floor, humbled and blinking in the bright lights, Senator Whitaker's voice rang clear as he addressed the chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus Shaw didn't ask who we were. He didn't ask what party we belonged to or what we believed. He saw fellow human beings in need and chose to act. That, my friends, is what makes this nation strong. The chamber erupted into a standing ovation. Yet Marcus, weathered hands folded and eyes misting, simply smiled. He wasn't thinking about the medals, the cameras, or the accolades. He was thinking about the quiet lesson his late father had once taught him when he was just a boy in a Kansas cornfield: if you see someone in trouble, you help. No questions. No conditions. That's just what good folks do. That day, Marcus Shaw reminded America, and maybe the world, of the simple, timeless power of humanity. That kindness, even from an ordinary truck driver, can ripple far beyond what the eye can see. And sometimes, the roads we least expect, lead us exactly where we're meant to be.